focusing your future from a place of fulfillment is like looking through a camera, like looking through a lens, okay? So, you can imagine that this is a lens, yes? So the first thing that's really important when we're focusing our future by choice from fulfillment from the inside out rather than fear, and remember it's a daily dance, the first thing is we're going to know what we want, okay? And you might have read in the event copy or the event spiel that I said, when I'm coaching a lot of women, they say to me, I don't know what I want. And I had that myself as well for a long time, and I even bought a book called I Could Do Anything If Only I Knew What It Was, right? And so I thought that was the answer for me, because I'm like, yes, I could do anything. What is it? I don't know. So I just kind of looped around for a number of years. You got to know what you want. But the only way you'll know that, the clarity will come from stillness, silence within yourself, and listening. Yep, so to know what you want deeply, like a vision that you're creating for your life, whether that's in your relationship or your family or your business or as a leader or in your community, whatever that looks like, to know what you want specifically, to live into that future, you've got to find the clarity through these things. Now, if you've been on our rituals and routines webinar a number of weeks ago, you'll hear me talk about these things that are really important around how to connect with self, yes? So you can go back and look at that recording if you like. So knowing what we want, the first thing is clarity, yeah? What we need is belief. We need the belief to keep believing that it's possible. And no matter what's coming at us, to believe that that is possible, even if it seems outrageous. For example, believing peace is possible right now. Believing love and connection and forgiveness is possible right now. Believing a brighter future is possible right now. We have to sometimes believe it. We have to believe it actually before it comes about, right? So we need the clarity and then we need the belief. You with me so far? So that's step one. So remember I said there was 4 things. Belief is about getting out of our own way. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? That means belief is getting out of our own way. One of the things that changed for me completely a couple of years ago, when it was I just was repeating the past on something. I just got out of my own way and just let it happen. The Surrender Experiment is a beautiful book I'm currently listening to. You might have heard of it. It's a beautiful one about getting out of our own way. All right, good so far? The next piece, number 2, comes back here, is responsibility. Okay? The camera analogy will make sense in a second. So responsibility, so that's about what are you avoiding, right? What are we avoiding? So when I know what I want and I'm clear about it and I believe in it, then I've got to take responsibility for why am I avoiding it and where am I avoiding creating it. And that might be in your health and well-being, that might be in your relationships, that might be in your business or in your leadership, yes? What am I avoiding? So what are my excuses? What are my justifications for avoiding the thing that I know that I want? Yes? So sometimes we know what we want, but then we're really busy doing something else. That's just avoidance tactics. And we've got to start to get really real. This is about getting real with ourselves, yeah? I've got to get really real with myself, which is about self-responsibility and know where am I actually pretending something when really it's just an avoidance, okay? And that takes awareness, okay? So building self-awareness. So you might have heard me talk about, as human beings, we live from the conditioning of the past and we live like a racehorse with blinkers on. So we think that we are exposed to everything there is to know in the world, but actually we come with our values and our belief systems and our limitations from our patterns of the past, yes? So we've got to expand our awareness to understand where we're avoiding some things, okay? You with me so far? Give me a thumbs up and a yes if this is making sense for you. Yes? All good? All right, so this So I'll come back to that in a minute. So what I want, and then responsibility, okay? The second thing, once I'm taking responsibility for where I'm avoiding and that I'm developing my awareness, so it's a daily practice, the next thing is inspired action. So I'm going to do some stuff. All right, I'm going to get going. So this is getting real, this is getting going. Because that's not going to happen without this or this, yes? And so, this inspired action is about choosing. What am I going to do? Okay? And this is about what am I including in my actions? So that's about inclusion or including. And what am I excluding? So if I want a really healthy body and I realise I've been avoiding doing the work, then the next inspired action is I'm going to do some work around that. What am I including? I'm including training. I'm excluding every night on the couch, maybe 3 nights on the couch instead of 5, right? So I've got to decide what am I going to do and what am I not going to do. This is not going to happen without that. You with me so far? So we're talking about living into the future we want from a place of fulfillment now. We're not striving towards fulfillment. We're living from a place of fulfillment now because of focusing on what we do want. Yeah? From your comments before. All right, so inspired action, this is about alignment. So give me your questions if you'd like to ask some questions, if you want me to clarify anything here. So responsibility, inspired action, choose what you're going to include and exclude. That's about alignment, okay? So awareness into alignment. The third thing, or the fourth thing, the last thing, is about tuning. Now, this is where the camera analogy comes into place. Because if you imagine looking through a camera, and I used to be a photographer, dabbled, when you're shifting focus, right? It's just like this fine tuning. And sometimes I talk to the people I'm coaching, the leaders I'm coaching, where it's like when you're driving on the highway and you might go off into off the lane a little bit, and you can feel the tyres hitting those bumps. That's like, oh, that's information to go, I've got to get back in the lane. So the tuning is like that, with that focusing in with the lens, you can tell when it's a bit blurry and when you're right on, yes? So that tuning is just that fine-tuned dance that we're doing. And that's about feeling. And that's about, am I on or am I off? Just feeling into, am I aligned here with where I want to go? So the tuning is about tuning in to this. Am I doing the right actions to go to what I want? Am I taking responsibility for going towards what I want? And this is about adjustment. Okay? So as we're fine-tuning that lens, we're just adjusting, yes? Adjusting, am I on track here? Is my thinking on track? Or am I going into focusing on what I don't want? Am I starting to focus on what I'm worried about? So you've got to start to be aware of what that feels like. So you know when I'm worried what that feels like you were saying, sick in my stomach, and that's like a flag to go jump back in the other lane and focus on what you do want, okay? So here goes to adjustment, yeah? So from awareness to alignment to adjustment, and this is in or out of focus. Okay, cool. So I'd like to hear from you what's happening in your mind, what's happening as you write this down and reflect on what you want, getting crystal clear on that. Do you have the clarity? Do you have the belief? Are you getting out of your own way? Are you taking responsibility for now, what you're avoiding? And do you have the awareness to know if you are avoiding or not? Or are you tolerating your excuses? Yes? Then we start to go, okay, well, what action is aligned with that? What's in and what's out? And that's about making sure that you're aligned with your future. And then just tuning, that fine tune every day. Remember I said to you earlier, I don't like writing on the board what I don't want, because my fine tuning, I've practiced for a long time and I still practice every day, is fine tuning to what I do want. So whenever I hear myself talk about what I don't want, it's like, okay, I've got to stop that and move, because I know that affects my body, the quality of my energy and my level of vitality, inspiration, and the clarity in my mind.